with another Friday 5 episode here on the Agent Survival Guide podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Ruppel, and today is Friday, November 15th. We are officially 1 month into the 2025 AEP and just 10 days into the 2025 OEP. It is a very busy time for insurance agents of all kinds, so I tried to keep that in mind with this week's list. Let's get into it, beginning with number 5. On Wednesday this week, we got the official October 2024 Consumer Price Index from the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics. That came on the heels of the latest Federal Open Market Committee meeting, which wrapped last Thursday. And then a week prior to that, the September 2024 report on personal consumption expenditures was released. Couple of things to go through here. We'll start with the overall PCE from September 2024, which decreased 0.2% from August to September of this year. It was up 2.3% in August and finished up September at an increase of 2.1%. And another encouraging stat from that report: when we remove food and energy costs from the equation, costs remain steady, holding at an increase of 2.7%, as they have been doing so since July 2024. Moving over to the Consumer Price Index, costs for all items were up 0.2% in October 2024 when compared with September 2024. And the CPI has also been steadily holding at that rate of increase since July 2024. Overall inflation is up 2.6% year over year. When we remove food and energy from this index, inflation is up 3.3% year over year. With prices continuing to hold steady, the Fed announced a quarter-point interest rate decrease last Thursday. Interest rates will now fall between the range of 4.25 and 4.5%. In his comments on the cut, Fed Chair Jerome Powell elaborated, quote, "We continue to be confident that with an appropriate recalibration of our policy stance, strength in the economy and the labor market can be maintained, with inflation moving sustainably down to 2%. We also decided to continue to reduce our securities holdings," end quote. Just one more Fed committee meeting this year. That will take place a little over a month from today on December 17th and 18th. And after that meeting, we should also get a summary of economic projections. Number 4. It's been an interesting week or so on social media in the wake of Donald Trump winning the presidential election. Through the last weeks of his campaign, Elon Musk became a very vocal supporter. This week, the owner of X was tapped by Trump to lead something the administration is calling the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, as they're shortening it. All jokes about Dogecoin aside, the announcement didn't come as too much of a surprise, as many were wondering what Musk would get in exchange for his support of Trump throughout his campaign. And according to reports, that has led to a surge in signups for Bluesky, one of the earliest Twitter replacement apps that we've talked about previously here on the show. It's been a little more than a minute since I logged in, so I was curious to see if there had been any noticeable changes to the app. I was greeted with a request to verify my email, which I could have sworn I already did, but like I said, it's been a little while. There were also quite a few posts about people leaving X for good, or recently remembering their password for Bluesky, so honestly, it felt just like it did the last time I logged in. The reports I saw about Bluesky made me curious if any of the other X replacements had seen an uptick in downloads this week. And this is what I found out. In the iOS App Store, Bsky.Social was indeed the most downloaded app, with Threads coming in at number 2 and TikTok in the 5th spot. Scrolling down through that list, I found X at the 25th spot. For Android users, the order changes a little bit with Threads at the top spot, TikTok in second, and Bluesky holding the number 4 slot. X came in at number 32 on that list. So there has been an increase in downloads of Bluesky, Threads, and TikTok across both smartphone operating systems. And the uptick in usage has been confirmed by both Bluesky and Threads. According to official numbers, Threads recently announced that they have over 275 million monthly active users. And then Bluesky recently announced they had surpassed 15 million users, also citing 1 million new users in just the past week. Some more numbers to consider. NBC News has a great graphic that shows daily visits to both the Threads and Bluesky websites from June 2024 until now. And on that graph, you can clearly see a jump in traffic to Bluesky on October 18th, with just over 1.2 million user visits. It then dropped down to mirror traffic to Threads before hitting a new high on November 7th of 1.25 million users. Threads has seen much more of a gradual increase over that span of time, from a high of over 750,000 daily visits in June 2024 to almost 1 million in the early days of November. Now, X doesn't have to report usage figures since it's not a public company. That makes getting an accurate picture of numbers a little challenging, but not impossible. According to SEMrush, and these numbers are from September 2024, filtered for just United States users, X.com had over 965 million views, while Twitter.com had over 630 million visits. Even if the Twitter.com visits were all redirected to the corresponding X.com URLs, that is still significantly more daily visits on X than Bluesky and Threads combined. When viewing SEMrush's list of the 20 most visited websites for September 2024 in the United States, X.com came in at number 14, and Twitter.com came in at number 19. Neither Bluesky or Threads made that list. So while there might be an uptick in downloads of Bluesky, Threads, and TikTok, when you look at some of the other numbers by comparison, you'll see that those X alternatives haven't yet picked up the user base to really rival what X has built over time, even if users are deactivating their accounts on X and heading elsewhere. Could that happen over time? Possibly. We'll just have to see how this one plays out. Number 3, quick mention here, but a fun article to share with your clients in those newsletters we often talk about. NordPass recently updated their annual list of the world's most popular passwords. And just because these passwords are popular does not mean that they are actually good. In fact, most of them are really bad. Strings of numbers in sequential order made for 7 out of the top 15 passwords. Others included QWERTY and a few other numbers, sometimes just the number 1, the number 4 password, the word password. Secret came in at number 9, but probably my favorite 2, coming in at 20 and 21 on the list, respectively, dragon and monkey. And if any of those are passwords that you are currently using, consider this your friendly reminder to change those passwords. We will be linking to a write-up on that list of passwords from a couple different sources, so you can add those to either your newsletters or post them on social media. Number 2, after we published last week's Friday 5 episode, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services announced the numbers that we have been waiting for: the Medicare Part A and Part B premiums, deductibles, and coinsurance amounts. If you're following along with our podcast, you got the episode that dropped on Wednesday of this week detailing all of that information. We're not going to rehash all of those figures or the comparisons in this episode, but there are a couple numbers I would like to highlight here. For coverage year 2025, the Part B premium will be $185. The annual deductible on Part B will be $257 in 2025. And then for Part A, we're not going to get into the full list on here because the majority of Medicare beneficiaries do not pay for their Part A, but we do like to highlight the inpatient hospital deductible. That will be $1,676 for coverage year 2025. We will be linking to our episode on the 2025 Medicare Part A and B premiums and deductibles in the episode notes, and we also will have the link to the write-up on our blog, as well as the official CMS press release. And the big story this week, coming in at number 1, we have made it over the halfway point of the 2025 annual enrollment period. And I think we all deserve a huge round of applause for that. Just in case you missed it, this Wednesday, we also published an episode on how to evaluate your AEP so far. If during that assessment, you find that you need to make some changes, we included the action steps to take. We will also have the link to an episode on surviving AEP. That's got some great wellness tips to make sure you're keeping track of. I don't know about you, but when I get busy, I tend to get laser focused on what needs to get done, and then some other important things tend to fall by the wayside, and that is not always such a good thing. This AEP, I have set hard start and stop times to my day. I've blocked off buffers at the beginning and end of my day to help with that. And I've been prioritizing physical wellness too. Especially recently, I joined a gym 2 weeks ago, and that has been helping quite a bit with back pain and just boosting my energy levels. And that is something that I'm doing just for me. It's a good, healthy thing. A little bit different than painting my nails or doing skincare. All of those things are beneficial, but at the end of the day, the gym is benefiting me the most. All that to say, don't forget to check in on your health and well-being and make sure you're practicing balance right now in what you're doing. And please, if you have questions, whether it's about a part of the appointment process, getting contracted, commissions, or how to deal with a particular client coverage challenge, make sure that you're reaching out for help. Email us that question at asgpodcast@ritterim.com. We would be happy to chat and get an answer to those questions for you. As of today, we've got 3 weeks left in the 2025 AEP. Let's finish it out strong and make it the best AEP yet. If you're not already, follow along with our show. We do our best to help you stay motivated through this busy season, keeping you updated on what's going on in the industry and the rest of the world in general. And you'll also get notifications for episodes as they're released, so you don't miss out on our content. We've got a lot of great episodes lined up to finish out 2024, and we don't want you to miss out on what's to come. But that is all we've got for this episode. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay healthy and stay safe out there, and we will see you next week. The Agent Survival Guide podcast is a production of Ritter Insurance Marketing, an integrity company. This episode was written and produced by me, Sarah Ruppel. Script editing and fact check by Tina Lamoureux. Podcast design by Urban Rivera. Artwork by Vivian Zhao. Follow along with us wherever you like to listen.